want to take your permission to record this section for the sake of those who are hopefully going to listen to this much later. We've been on and off trying to bring the best of minds in the tech world and those who are really doing incredible stuff. And it's been a pleasure to have in our midst today, Nnaemeka. I'm just going to read a brief of his bio. Nnaemeka, if you don't mind, if you can, put on your video so people can see you. If you, it's going to be an interesting section. Yeah, see the fine guy.
Yeah,
there.
hi, David. How are you doing? Nice to meet up again.
Yeah. What's up?
Nice to meet up again.
So I'm trying to get to read your profile for those who didn't have the opportunity to know who you are or just joining us.
All right, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
And before I do that, I want to please request for those of you here, please invite your friends to join this section. You can share this on your social media handle. The flyer is just behind me. If you check my Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, it's everywhere. Try, and we've also shared this in our live, in our different sections, WhatsApp groups. And because of the time zone, this is 9 a.m. in the United States, and people are going to work, right? And West African time, this is almost lunchtime, right? It's lunchtime, really. So we understand if there are people that are not going to be here live today, but for those who desire to be here, and we are going to make sure we respond to any questions that will come up as a result of some of the discussions we'll be having today. So this is just me saying, please go ahead to invite your friends online. We are going to have a WhatsApp group towards the end of this section so that we can continue conversations on whatever we intend to talk about. Nnaemeka has an amazing idea. We talked about it last night, and I'm really expectant that we, kick it, make it started. So a little bit about our guest for today. Nnaemeka Nweje, I hope I pronounced that correctly. He's a teacher and social entrepreneur with more than 7 years of experience spanning across areas such as education, technology, small and growing businesses as SGBs, and logistics management. He is a certified management consultant. Nnaemeka is a founder and lead strategist at Morphin Consults. Can visit them at www.morphin.ng, which is a human performance improvement and capacity development organization. He is also the founder of Beyond the Curriculum, an initiative that provides African students with a suite of alternative learning solutions designed to create better teaching and learning experience. Nnaemeka holds a Bachelor's of Science in Health Education, and his work is driven by his passion for positive educational outcome and inclusion for African students and scholars. He is a successful professional with a wealth of transferable skills gained in the service delivery sector. Over the years, he has developed a commitment to delivering customer service excellence and a reputation for ensuring complete customer satisfaction. Just before I bring him on board, I want to say that this interview was a result of a conversation we had in Lagos. Just a conversation. I had to walk up to him because when he was introducing himself to our alumni body, he mentioned that he was very good in SQL Server. And I was like, you know what? People are not really so proud. People are not really so proud of mentioning some of the tools they are quite good at. You know, when I heard SQL Server, I was like, you know what, go and meet this guy. And when I met him, I spoke to him about having a section with us, and he agreed. Nnaemeka, in your you don't enjoy small IREX money for Yankee. And you didn't mention in the United States and how.
Hi, David, your audio is gone. We can't hear you. Hello, David. Can you hear me, David? Like, we can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, your audio is back now. Go ahead.
All right. Let me try to increase my audio. Give me a bit. All right. If I'm loud enough, I'm loud enough now, right?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So maybe you just go ahead and tell us something a bit more about what you do outside what I've talked about in your biography.
So, hi everyone. I hope you guys can all hear me too. If you can hear me, leave a comment for me. Leave a comment in the chat section so I know you guys can hear me very well. Thank you, David, for this opportunity. Like you said, it was actually over breakfast that the invitation for this session was discussed. And I'm glad we're here right now. So basically, everything you've said is a summary of who I am and what I've been doing for the past 10 years. I don't think there's any other work I do outside what you've said already. You know, I'm the founder of Nweje Consult. Nweje Consult is Nweje, right? It's two words. Morph, that is to change slowly, and gen, the next generation. Yeah, so that's the pronunciation for the brand. Yeah. So I'm the founder of Nweje Consult. Nweje is a human performance improvement and capacity development organization. The reason why I founded this brand is because I have a vision for positive educational outcome for African students and scholars, you know. So that basically drives all the work I do most of the time.
All right. Thanks so much, bro, for that brief introduction. So I know I've seen from your background that you weren't actually into tech. Maybe I always have this question from our students. I'm new to tech. Is it mathematics? I'm not very good in mathematics. People are really scared of going into technology, not just in data analysis, in software engineering, all kinds of anything tech. There is always this fear of, if I didn't study computer science, or if I didn't study something related to technology, robotics, or AI, and so on. But looking at your background, people could say, no, this guy didn't really start from where he is at the moment. So how did you get into tech?
Well, I like to think that the foundation for tech actually lies in the problem you're trying to solve, right?
All right.
So my journey into tech was necessitated by the work I was doing. It wasn't as if I wanted to go into tech, or I woke up one day and I was like, how do I get into tech? I was fascinated about the problem I was trying to solve. And in the process of solving this problem, I discovered that there are vital skills that I needed to also learn along the way so that I'm able to effectively deliver on the solutions that I'm building, right? So originally I was studying to be a public health educator, right? But in 2012, I think I was serving the motherland at that time, somewhere in Niger State, right? And if you remember back then in 2012, we had Symbian phones. We didn't have Android phones like we do now. It was still the Symbian phones that we were using back then. So we didn't have like a lot of apps like Google apps today. So if you were in a new location and you wanted to find hotels around you, you couldn't go to Google Maps to look for this information. You would send a code to MTN or whatever service provider they are using, and then they will send you a list, you know, but then they will charge you 50 naira for that list, right? So I'm just telling a story of how like my journey morphed into like what it's become now. So one day I wanted to find like hotels around me because I was in a new city and I was almost stranded. And then I sent the code and MTN charged me like 150 naira. That was in 2012 for this information. And I was so upset about it. I got home and I was like really annoyed. I was like, why are they charging so much for information that they can provide very easily, you know? And then while I was bothering and fussing about it, my mind asked me a small question. And it was like, what can you do better? Right? And that was my beginning into entrepreneurship. So in my mind, I was thinking, if I can complain about the problem, then I should also have a solution to offer so that my complaints are valid. Otherwise, I'm just like making noise, right? And so I thought in my head, what if a telecommunications brand like Globacom, which is indigenously owned, is still owned by Nigeria? Imagine they built 6 schools in the 6 geopolitical zones, secondary schools, right? Now, these schools will be model centers for education in terms of the secondary school level that can compare to whatever the standards are anywhere in the world. I mean, you could walk into the computer lab and learn actual programming. You could go into the chemistry labs and learn, other than titration, actual, you know, schools that work, not the secondary schools that we have available to us now, apart from the ones that are overly priced. Because we know secondary education is actually dying in Nigeria with the way the government is running. In fact, the whole educational structure needs a revamp. But that's a conversation for another day. So imagine Globacom builds these 6 schools in the 6 geopolitical zones, and then they tell Nigerian population that admission into these model schools would be a scholarship, right? And every year, the schools will admit 500 students in the 6 geopolitical zones into these model centers, right? But parents only have to buy 1,000 naira recharge card in order for their kids to stand a chance at this scholarship opportunity, right? As of 2012, the total population of Nigeria was around like 160 million. So in my mind, I was thinking, if 10% of the 160 million bought the idea of the model schools at that time, knowing fully well how we value education in Nigeria and how everybody wants an opportunity for better educational opportunities. If 10% of the 160 million parents, which is like 16 million parents, buy 1,000 naira recharge card, that's around like 16 billion already. So the brand is able to generate revenue, and they are also able to contribute to actual development of the people, as opposed to just ripping all of us off, right? So when that came into my mind, I think that was how I became an entrepreneur. At that moment, I knew that public health education wasn't what I wanted to do anymore. I was fascinated and I was like, okay, how do we make social enterprises like this work? And that's what led to the creation of YALI Consult, which is my company. And in the delivery of YALI Consult, we've learned a lot. We have to build our website. You know, you have to do branding. You have to do social media marketing. You have to do social media engagement. You know, there are lots of things that come into running a brand. And when you're starting up, you can't afford to pay other people for all the things that you need in order to push your brand forward. So what option do you have? You just have to learn. You have to upskill, you know, and find ways to solve the problems that you need to solve so that, you know, you're able to get ahead. So for me, I think learning is the new tech, not the tool itself.
Thanks so much. And even though you shared this story with me, each time you talk about it, it's always sounding quite new to me. And I wrote something on my social media, I think some time ago, yesterday or 2 days ago, about Elon Musk, the fact that he's charging $8 now.
Yo, that's the
for,
new update.
So
I don't think it's official yet. I think they're just still sounding out the concept.
Yeah. He confirmed that under one of the tweets, one of these guys, that they are still working on it. When the guy came up and said, bullshit, I'm not going to pay $20 every month. And Elon came under the tweet and was like, okay, how about $8? It was really funny. So I think one of the things I am getting from your journey into tech is the fact that people seem to forget that tech is basically an enabler, right? You've been in the United States. Some of us have also visited a couple of other places, the Western world. And if you try to juxtapose the quality of life in these places, you would see that the Western world is growing exponentially because of how they have been able to leverage technology, innovation, and what have you. And sometimes I'm just amazed by their audacity to really look at something that we don't consider it a problem, and they begin to build technological solutions about it. Yeah. Think about PayPal, how PayPal started. Think about Amazon. Think about all these e-commerce companies. Think about Flutterwave, even that's run by a Nigerian. Think about most of the tech companies we have. People seem to forget that when you say you are new to tech, and when people want to hear about the stories of how you started your journey into technology, we shouldn't always forget that it is solution oriented. What problem are you trying to solve? And the bigger your solutions, the bigger the financial resources you are going to have, the financial, the wealth that you are going to build. And that is what I want to reiterate as people are listening to us right now. That when you want to go into tech, think about the solution you want to bring up on board. And what the next question I want to ask now is, we want to concentrate on looking at SQL Server as a tool for data analytics. So you already know what this question is all about. Just fire on.
Oh, yeah. SQL, like I call it.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm not a data analyst like you are. I'm just like a business consultant. So
yeah.
So, well, let me tell another story as to how I got to learn about SQL. Right, I went to a client's office to talk about branding and basically branding and business strategy. So while I was there, I discovered that there was no unified platform for the data that the company had. Basically, all their data was still in books and ledgers and invoices. And if you wanted to analyze, if you wanted to make any type of projection or analysis, you'd have to sift through this book, practically tons and tons of pages of like data, right? So I suggested to the client, why not use an enterprise resource solution? That way, you can automate all your business processes and have your business data in your database in one digital platform that is easily accessible, right? It wasn't the original reason why I was there, but the client saw value in that and they invested in Odoo. Odoo is a software as a service. It's an enterprise software as a service, and they started using it, right? And before long, we had tons of data from the company on Odoo, right? Odoo is an ERP. I hope you guys are following me. Sorry if you're not. But you can ask questions and I can explain better on the chat platform, right? So while on Odoo, we started generating tons of data, right? And then it became relevant that this data that we're generating, what do we do with it? How do we analyze it? How do we make something out of this data? If we wanted to know who the biggest customer was on a particular day, how do we find that data? If we wanted to know days that they have the biggest volumes of sales, how do we find this data that allow the business owners to make conscious and effective decisions for their service process, right? And that's how SQL came in. I went on Google and I was looking for solutions to understand the data that we already generated. And I came across SQL. And that's how I started learning the tools, right? So for those of us who don't know, SQL is known as structured query language, right? I hope you don't mind if I do like a brief like summary on SQL so that everybody understands.
Sure. I don't at all. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask a question and let's see who finds the best answer to this question as we continue. How much data do we think we, like humans all over the world, we generate daily? How much data in bytes do we generate daily? David, I'm also asking you because you know you're the Baba of the techies, so you can you can also help us with an answer. Someone said uncountable. Well, this is why SQL is important. For when you think data is uncountable, that's why tools like SQL become relevant because they give you the leverage to be able to begin to access this data and like put them in quantifiable measures, right? From my research,
I think we have more of 2 point something 3.
You're close, 2.5 quadrillion bytes daily.
Okay.
0.5?
Now, 2.5 quadrillion.
On a single day, that's massive.
Now, to understand how much data this is, right, is equivalent to every single human being on the planet putting a data on a spreadsheet. So imagine an Excel sheet. Each and every single one of us makes an entry on the spreadsheet. That's how much data we generate daily, right? Now, SQL is a tool that developers use to store tons of data that is generated. So for all this data that we're generating, like when you go on Facebook and Facebook is able to mirror, like you can just think about something and it seems like what you're thinking about, you're already seeing an ad about it on Facebook, or a sponsored ad is already showing on your timeline, but you haven't searched for this item. You only just thought about, you know, that's how much data is being processed daily. You know, this data is quantifiable and people act on it, right? That's what data analysts do basically. So SQL is a tool that developers use to store tons of data that is generated. Then data analysts, data scientists, data engineers, they can go in and use SQL to analyze and assess this data. Now, the reason why SQL is important is because it provides business owners the leverage to make database solutions and strategies for their clients, right? And there are 2 types of ways to use SQL. There is the ad hoc analysis way, and then there is the data sharing. That is 2 reasons why people use SQL: to analyze data, 1, and then to share data. I'll give an example of how the analysis works in terms of like SQL. Imagine you're consulting with a client on business growth, right? And you wanted to know the quarterly sales of the company so that you can better understand their sales trajectory. If the company has a database, you can use SQL queries to bring out this data from their database so that you can have it and so that you can make your projections out of it. That is the analysis part of SQL. Now, when it comes to the data sharing part of SQL, imagine you now know what the quarterly sales is, and then your company or your client organization who you're consulting for, they want to share this data that you have with all their staff, right? And they want you to put it in a dashboard so that all the sales team can view it in real time. You can also use SQL to build dashboards or like enterprise solutions that the whole team can use.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Maybe let's see if you have questions, please. I mean, if I'm having interviews with people, I normally love the conversation to come up almost immediately and questions to be responded to immediately as well. So someone wants to know the full spelling of your startup. I think that is it, so she can check it online. And
okay,
what else? What else?
do you mind?
Yeah.
Do you mind writing it on the? Do you mind writing it on the chat platform for them? You have it already.
Yeah, let me do that.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to make any demonstration, or you want to just show a few things about SQL Server. Okay, you've typed it already, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have a link that I can share so that people can just look it up. There's a YouTube video that is like 15 minutes that kind of summarizes like SQL. That way they'll better get it. Because I'm not an analyst myself. It's just a functional tool that I use. So if they want an in-depth understanding, I'll paste the link on the group right now.
All right, all right. For some of you that are actually new to tech, like I see someone says the person is new to tech or new to data analysis, we have this material that please join the WhatsApp group so that I will get to share the material with you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we can also do like a specialized session for.
Yes. Hopefully we would organize maybe another section where we could just we are going to panel beat this hopefully after the section.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those who are interested in becoming data analysts generally, or those who want to go into the world of analyzing data, maybe explain things like Nnaemeka, maybe you get to tell them what steps do you recommend such people take, to become very good in data analysis and to provide data-driven solutions to companies, looking from your experience.
Okay, so basically I'm going to share the steps that I take personally, or that I took personally with regards to SQL. Someone is asking in the group if it's SQL. Is SQL structured query language? That's what it means. I hope you guys can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, so about the steps that I would recommend for a data analyst to take, right? The first thing I'll advise them to do is to think about certification and domain expertise, right? Because the main reason for learning any of these skills, obviously, is to generate some type of revenue or income, either for your company or for your individual self or as a group. Because if you have a skill and the skill is not economically viable, then I don't see the point for gaining the skill, right? So if you're thinking about data analysis or analysis, then you're obviously thinking in terms of like a career option or like a revenue option. So the first thing to do is to think about certification and domain expertise. You can go on YouTube and begin to get yourself familiar. There are tons of free content on YouTube that you can access today. Okay, to cost data, right? But you're not paying for the content, and they are extensive on how they teach. So you can do like a deep dive on any particular field that you're interested in, and you find enough content. That way you build expertise, which is key. And then you also have to get certification so that your portfolio is competitive. If people are looking at multiple data analysts and they're looking to pick one out of like a lot, they are obviously going to consider certification. So you can go on Coursera, Udemy, if you're looking for like price-friendly solutions to certification. Even Google provides certification on tools such as this. Now, secondly, you also need a knowledge of programming. It definitely helps, right? For example, Python or JavaScript. If you don't know any of these programming languages, you should definitely be on the WhatsApp group, because David and his organization, they have like a lot of plans for newbies and people who are already in tech. I'm sure if you join the WhatsApp group, you can pick up JavaScript, Python, or I don't know how many of these languages they offer already. Now, thirdly, you need knowledge of data analysis tools, right? You need a working know-how of databases and analysis tools. You need to understand SQL. You need to understand how to write queries. You need to understand Microsoft Excel. Those are like basic programming tools that you need to, have an understanding of. Now, fourthly, you need to understand statistics and machine learning, because that's the next wave. Like the third wave of digital disruption is currently underway, and it's centered around AI and deep learning, which involves using machines to train, like machines training themselves using data, right? That's what the world is transitioning into. That's the third wave of tech disruption that is happening now, machine learning, and then data analysts make it possible for machines to learn, whether they like it or not. I mean, in 2013, Amazon had 1,000 robots operating their warehouses. Fast forward to 2022, they have 45,000 robots actively now, right? That's how much machine learning is taking over, like, jobs, basically. But then for the data analysts who are able to, walk around data, who understand statistics and who know machine learning algorithms, they will always have value regardless of where tech is going, because data is king. And if you understand and can analyze data, you can always find value for yourself. And then finally, you must have the knowledge of data visualization, because if people are not able to visualize the data that you're analyzing, then it doesn't make sense. So there are tools for business reports, such as Tableau. Every data analyst should have either one of these things in their components so that they can find value regardless of their location, their time, or, you can do this on the side, you can do it full time and still provide value to yourself.
Thank you very much. And there is this mistake a lot of people used to make for, when they want to start earning money from data analysis. They will see a job opportunity. You are just starting out. They see a job opportunity online, and the next thing they want to do is they want to go and apply for a senior data analyst role. they jump from entry level, like they just jump from entry level straight to applying for senior data analyst. It's like you are just going into what is it called? You are just going into the university. Let me use the college for instance. And instead of assistant lecturer, or is it graduate assistant, for graduate assistant to lecturer 1 or 2, these people want to jump from graduation to being enthroned as a professor in the university. It doesn't work that way, guys. This thing that Nnaemeka is saying, it's step-by-step knowledge. You can, like what I normally tell my students is that, look, guys, you must not be very good in all the tools we are going to be teaching you in terms of advanced Excel, Tableau, SQL Server, PostgreSQL, or MySQL. We have SQL, just like you mentioned, SQL for all kinds of things, right? And Tableau, Power BI, Python, and so on, Matplotlib, and so on. I tell them, look, learn all these tools. Learn all these tools as much as you can, but be very honest with yourself that at least there should be 2 or 3 of the skills that you can be very boastful about, that anywhere where they throw you put, and they ask you questions in these fields, you can amaze their mind, right?
Exactly.
For me that is talking, the one that I know I am Baba, like I am master, is advanced Excel. It sounds crazy, right? But I love Microsoft Excel so much that when I'm teaching it, you can feel my passion in it. Because this is maybe why I love it so much, is because This is also the first tool I used to make money. And when I when I discovered, that is a secret, guys. If there is a tool that, just like you now, you are very good with SQL Server, and you are using it amazingly. You'll be very good in talking about it more than a couple of other tools. We have a trainer who is very good in Python, but you know, she doesn't really like all the slow motion in Excel. And I'm also very good in visualization tools like Tableau. I've taught Tableau, Power BI, right?
Yeah,
and I know other tools. Yeah, I know other tools. But what I'm saying, guys, is in your journey to tech, learn these tools as much as you can, but be very honest with yourself. Which one do you have the most strength in?
You know what makes it even easier, right? It's back to the original thing we spoke about. If you're solving a problem with tech, right, it helps you map out how you develop. You know, some people are just learning tech for the sake of learning tech, and then they are waiting for somebody to pay them an outrageous sum of money because they can talk tech, right? But if you're actively solving a personal problem using tech, you can find that your rate of development is faster because your motivation is different. You know, you're driven by the problem you're solving. So that actually pushes you to learn more than you would normally do. And over time, people begin to pay you, not because you were learning to earn, but you were learning to solve a problem. But now you can solve the problem so well that anywhere you go, even if the tools are changing, you understand the problem and how to solve it. And you bring that energy into the things that you learn. So that makes a lot of difference.
Yeah. So thank you. I want to give an opportunity to two persons to, you can unmute and ask your question. Put your hands up so I could call you, please. All right, Martins.
Hello.
Okay, we have Martins.
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure, I can hear you.
All right, thank you. So I think I've dropped the first question on the group chat, on the chat already. But my second question is going to be based on what he just said, not quite long now, about solving a problem. Now, like you said, everybody wants to join tech, and we don't know the problems to solve. I want to believe that there are quite a whole lot of problems to solve. Now, is it possible whereby this program could actually tailor some questions which we can think, as long as we want to start as data analysis and solve? Maybe from there, it could actually help us build, should I use the word a portfolio or what? I don't know if you understand my question.
Yeah, so let's allow our guest. Nnaemeka, did you understand his question?
Yes. I very well understand this question. And I would answer his question by sharing a problem that I'm solving. Maybe he can collaborate with me on solving this problem. Echo, sorry, could you mute your mic if you're done with your question?
Okay, I muted everyone, so Nnaemeka, you can unmute you.
Yeah.
All right.
So basically, I'm currently working on a solution, right? We're trying to build a digital marketplace for indigenous African markets, right? This is a problem. We're trying to build a marketplace for indigenous African markets, right? Now, I'll ask you a question, so I'm sure you guys understand what I mean by indigenous African market. Can someone tell us on the group what the biggest market in West Africa, the largest market in West Africa is? Yeah, someone has answered already. The biggest market, this is arguable though, but I like to believe it is. The largest market in West Africa is Onitsha main market. It's a market that is in Onitsha. It's called the main market. Right. So now for this market, right, we're trying to build an indigenous marketplace for markets like main market. That's the problem we're trying to solve, right? I'll now give you an example of how SQL is going to help me to solve this problem. Because, for example, we know the market is the biggest, but nobody knows how many stores the market has. Nobody knows how many vendors are in the market. Nobody can actually say how much the market generates daily. Nobody can tell the volume of daily, weekly, monthly, and annual sales from this market. Nobody can tell us the major products in this market, right? Now, these are problems or questions that require answer. And in order to answer this question, technology is going to be involved. Otherwise, we can't wrap our hands and minds around it. So we're solving a problem by providing visibility, by providing digital inclusion for merchants that are in our local market. So in solving this problem, we're going to either pay for the tech solution or we're going to learn it ourselves, right? So whether it's JavaScript or Python or whatever tool that is required in order to solve this problem, we're going to either learn it or we're going to pay for it. So I don't know if that answered your question. And then if you look around you, you can find that there are
yes, it does.
Excuse me, please, can I ask a question in regards to that?
Yes, I mean, you've actually answered my question though, but there are going to be tools. I would love to contribute actually, but I'm looking at what tools do you think I will be using, because I'm new to SQL in as much as I think I have a little bit of familiarity with JavaScript. I'm just trying to learn Power BI and I just finished learning Excel. So what do you think about that?
You just finished learning Excel. That's a very serious claim to make. You cannot finish learning Excel. But I get you, don't mind me.
Excuse me, can I ask something in regard to your answer?
Yes, please.
So using the Nnaemeka market as a case study, for instance, and then how you can prefer a solution to that, you know, creating the whatever. Well, how possible, or how are you going to achieve that since they don't have any database? Are you going to provide the technology individually to all the businessmen and women?
Some of the data we have to generate ourselves. Some of the data is available already, but it has not been analyzed, right?
Okay.
There are tons of data. Most of them have bank accounts, right? Some of these banks are in the market. So if we go to the bank, we can generate data. If we go to the Internal Revenue Service, we can generate data of all the businesses in the town. You know, there are tons of places where this data is lying, but it hasn't been analyzed. It hasn't been cleaned. That's where we come in. So we're going to see all the data that is available already and begin to make sense out of it.
But if you collect any data through their bank account, you can only get the financial data, not the product, for instance. So how would you know what actually?
If we have the businesses, we can begin to understand what the businesses does or what products that they sell, right? But first, you need to begin to see the data on how many businesses are here. What is this market? What is this market based like? How many stores are here? You know, how many products are available in the market? You know, some of this data we have to actually generate ourselves. We're already running a logistics service in that particular market. And through the logistics service, we're providing solutions that take us to the doorstep of these merchants and the vendors. So while they use our logistics service, they are providing data to us real time on their transactions and their businesses. And we can also source data from all the other ventures that we engage in the town.
All right, thank you.
Sorry, Martin, you didn't finish what you were saying.
Yeah, I was saying I would love to contribute, but the tools which I know at the moment, I don't know whether it's good enough. Like I said, you said I cannot finish learning Excel, but I'm just starting with Power BI and I'm just trying to fix my hand into something.
Okay, so I think the best thing to do is to join this WhatsApp group and we can accelerate the conversation from there. Because the DaHel Techies and the DaHel Consultants, they have a lot of tools to teach, you know, and there's a network of data analysts in this community already that you can learn from, that we can collaborate with, and that we can share information together. So if you do well to join this WhatsApp, I think it's a good place to start.
All right, thank you very much. Chidi, I see your hands are up. For those who are asking questions in the group, I am going to read them out. I'm going to go through and read them out. But let's listen to Chidi if he has a question. Huh?
Good afternoon. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. I can hear you.
Okay. Listen, in regards to Python, to data analysis, is it general knowledge about Python or there are specific Python languages like programming language for that?
David. David, I'm giving you a true pass.
Okay, Python. You know, we normally don't add Python to some of our packages. Yes, we have Python for data science, Python for data analysis, Python for all kinds of businesses, right? But we are concentrating on Python for data analysis. Because I give you an example, there are some rules of data that you may not be able to clean and work on in Microsoft Excel. And some persons don't like using SQL Server, so they just go straight ahead to use Python. And if you check our page online, you are going to see some of the content of our Python courses that we offer. But basically, it's Python for data analysis. We are not going to be looking at using Python to create a robot or to machine learning. That's high level kind of coding and stuff. But you are going to get the best of learning when it comes to using Python for data analysis. And we keep telling people, look, if you are not good with SQL Server, try to at least be good in using any of the programming languages. So we introduced Python, and it's a standalone course on its own, right?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, Success.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Please, I want to know. Okay, please, I want to know. He mentioned in Coursera, Google Analytics certificate, professional certificates. I know there's 2 courses there actually, or there are 2 courses there. One is Google Data Analytics, and the other one is IBM Data Analyst professional certificate. I don't know which one of them actually. Do you think? Because when I checked both of them, it looks as if they're almost likely the same thing. Though I was thinking that IBM is a bit wider.
No, I think I shouldn't have even listed the courses because at DaHel Consult, we have you covered for all of these things. So you might want to zero in on DaHel Consult and source your content from them. David.
Yeah. I think it's good they have these options, but the other time my younger sister was asking me, this was many years back when she wanted to learn, I think she wanted to learn this makeup or something. And she now asked me that there is someone that wants to teach her how to learn it, or she's just going to go ahead to watch other people do it online. And then I told her something that she actually listened to me. And I said, well, it's okay to get to learn these things online. You want to build a new skills online, it's okay to learn them. But what if you run into an issue? What if you got invited for an interview? What if you had a bug? What if you run into something because you got it on YouTube or you got it on just recorded versions of courses? You can't have someone that is going to be readily available to you, to respond to you, to help you, to guide you. So that's the difference between some of the courses that you mentioned and then what we offer. We actually tell our students, yes, we have recorded sections for those who cannot afford to enter the live sections, but always ensure that you reach out to a community of people who can always help you when you get stuck. And that is what we do at DaHel Consultants and Techies, right? So if you get to enroll with us for any of these courses, be sure that you have a list of trainers. I mean, check out our social media handles. We have 5 male trainers. We have about 4 female trainers, right? And we are still building. The hope is to make sure that we make these tech skills more and more accessible to all. Like, guys, you have no idea what it means to be in a place where you don't need to step your feet into a bank to do anything. Everything is, you can do them in your house, right? You don't need to go anywhere to do some of the things that technology can do for you. I've been in that type of community before, society before. So when you go to a place where Ghanaians, Nigerians, all type of Africans, they don't have access to technological resources just because there are no many places like DaHel Consult or Nnaemeka's place. So please come to us if you need the guidance. If you want to learn more, you can always reach out to those other places. But you need to begin with a place, especially if you are just starting out. You need to begin with a place where there are people that will really guide you all the way to the top, and then allow you to blossom as much as you can. So that is what I can say for that.
It's called community-based learning. If we learn together as a community, then the chances of learning faster is higher, because like we hold ourselves accountable, because the group is growing together, and that way you can find practical use for what you're learning. Because doing a course online is one thing. Actually using the course that you've done online to solve a problem or earn some revenue, that is the next level. So I think the real focus should be on how to use these skills practically. How to use it to solve everyday problems.
Right, thank you. Let me go through the chat and see if there are other questions. Madonna, let me mute all. Madonna wants to know where she can, I don't know if you are a she, but you want to learn where you can learn product management. You can, we don't have product management, or what is it? What is the name of the thing again? Product. Yeah, product management. We don't have that under DaHel Techies for now. but we are open to bring in people. And one of the things that it really stands out with us is we don't just get trainers who learn something online, right? And they just need other people to teach. Our trainers, all of our trainers are working as data analysts. All of them are working. You need to, the thing about training is you need to be good at it. You need to be using it to make money before you can actually, you need to be using it to make money before you can actually have the audacity to teach other people. And we give opportunities for those who are going to be Microsoft certified. And that reminds me, before I bring in Nnaemeka with the last question, next week on the 8th of November, I'm going to be having another interview section with an amazing guy again. And I'm going to share this with those of you in the group. This guy was the first person to work with Microsoft in Nigeria in terms of organizing the MCT conference. That's the Microsoft Certified Trainers Conference in Africa, in Nigeria. And that was in Abuja years back. He has gone off to do incredible things. And we want to bring him on board so that for those of you who want to be globally recognized as Microsoft agents, I tell you, for instance, I may be in Pakistan this December to paper presentation as a Microsoft certified trainer. And one of the things we enjoy from our training section from Microsoft is opportunities to, travel, opportunities to give some of these talks, opportunities to reach out to people who are doing incredible stuff. So I decided not to be the one talking about MCT. I decided to bring in someone who has been in the system for a very long time. So watch out, please follow us on social media. Watch out for an update about that interview. How can you become globally recognized as a data analyst, as a Microsoft certified professional, as a Microsoft certified trainer, and what have you? The list of what you can learn is endless. So this is me telling you, yes, we may not offer some of these courses like product management now, but the more we build, the more we reach out to other communities. If you know someone who is working as a product manager somewhere, and you feel this person is good enough to come and work with us in DaHel Techies, this is a home where we bring in the best of talented minds to provide solutions, right? So that's what I can say about that. And David, do you offer graphic design at that? Yes. We are actually going to start graphic design training this month and next month, November, December, right? And this is also going to be the very first training we're going to have, that we're going to have an office, not just online. We're trying to see how we can come up with that. So Anna, message me on WhatsApp, and then let's get started on that. So Nnaemeka, back to you. And when you brought up the issue about SQL, I was also looking out for some of my students. And I know that you are going to be with us in the WhatsApp group. What opportunities are you expecting to share with the students who are here and those who are going to join us much later? Okay, you are muted.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, can hear you.
Yeah, so I already spoke about an opportunity that the community can leverage from in terms of the digital marketplace that we're building. That's a major project. We're currently seeking funding for this project, and soon it will be an exciting project to work on, right? That is individually. So we're also currently building a learning management system for teenagers and young adults, like a skill-based learning management system. This would obviously require skills that people in your community can leverage from. So hopefully we can develop some relationships on the group and, see where that goes. I also like consult for a lot of businesses. And sometimes when I get to these business locations, I see that there are lots of skill gaps that the organization has. And the reason why they're not plugging those skills is because they don't have access to credible human resource that would help them solve this problem, right? So, it's all about leverage. I'm going to leverage as much as I can on the community that we have, and then the business community that I also have, and then my personal brands and companies that I work with.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. Hopefully you get to share about this more with those in the WhatsApp group, and we are just getting started. Hopefully, the plan is to make sure that we get as many people on board as possible, because I mean, each time I look at some of these biggest guys in tech, and funny enough, the richest guy in the whole world is started life in coding in one small apartment. Technology can change a lot of things about us. It's not just our finances. It can change a lot of things about how we process things, how we look at the world. I never knew I had changed as a person until I started spending a lot of hours trying to create solutions for some businesses and trying to make sure that I learn as much as I can. My memory improved when I started coding, and with this improvement in memory and ability to put one or two things together, I discovered that, look, there is so much more that we can do in terms of bringing a lot of people on board. This is why communities like DaHel Consults and Nweje Consults exist, for the sole purpose of bringing. So please try as much as possible to reach out to any of us online. And if you are not yet in the WhatsApp group, please try to be there so that we can continue these conversations. I don't know, Noni, is that a hand for a question? Is it Noni? Is that a question? Okay, that's not her. So I think if we have exhausted all we want to discuss about today.
Can you hear me?
All right, so openly, let's talk about other things now. Questions, please. Noni, yes.
Yeah. I want to ask, particularly, I want to know whether if in the establishment here, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I don't know if in you guys' establishment here, whether you feature the Python and other programming languages. I think that's one thing I want to know very well.
Yes, we teach Python and we teach SQL Server for data analysis.
Okay, yeah. Okay. That's one of.
In fact, we have started enrolling for our November section already. We have more than 20 persons. I can't remember. In data analysis class, SQL, and some persons who prefer private sections. We take private sections as well. Our Python class, we're starting it this weekend or next. So, make sure you send me a message and then I'm going to get you started on it, right?
Okay. So, please, I don't know, what's the name in the WhatsApp group? So maybe I can just message you.
There is no how you will not know my name. David Francis.
Okay, sorry. Nonetheless, I'll see how to find it out in the WhatsApp group. There's no problem. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah. We have a virtual assistant. Her name is Oluchi. Oluchi is our virtual assistant. If you can't reach me, you can always reach Oluchi. She's also everywhere. He handles most of our inquiries and stuff. But you will not get lost. Don't worry.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So hi, David. Before we move on to the questions, I'd like to re-emphasize something for everybody that's joined us today, right? The foundation for tech lies in problem solving, right? So when you're thinking about tech, tie it to a problem you're trying to solve, and you will find that your journey will be easier. Someone said that ideas have wings and they can fly, but tech provides the solution for that flight. So if you want your ideas to fly, you would need tech so that those wings can be formed and they can fly. And by fly, I mean being scalable. Because if your solution is not scalable, you might as well not waste time building it. So if you're building a solution and you want it to be scalable, tech must be involved. And then if as a startup, you're trying to pay for the tech solutions that you need, your business might not make it. So those are things you have to think about on your journey to your professional development.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, I see Blessing, Faith. Blessing, Annie, Etim, you have a question?
Yes, I do. Good afternoon, everyone.
Right,
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Okay, nice being here. Sincerely, I've learned a whole lot since the beginning of the section, and I'm really glad being here. So my question goes thus. I've been working as a data analyst for about a year now, but I know there are so many tools that I'm still, opening up to learning. And but there are some company you go to, they expect you to know some certain kind of working tools, like beyond what I think I know. Like I know I'm about learning Power BI, and I know Excel very well, and as well other software like that. Is there any what would I call, like a map to a data analyst or someone tending to become a cybersecurity? Is there any map like you can say, okay, this is how it goes. This is what and what and what and what you need to take into consideration. That's my question, please.
Okay. Nnaemeka, do you want to answer that?
I'll just make a contribution, and then you can wrap it up. So basically, I think the best way to go about tech, I don't think there's any blueprint particularly that a person has to follow, right? You have to think about what spaces you want to work on, what solutions you want to provide, where you're looking to go. As a data analyst, you need to think of the type of project you want to work on. That way you can better develop in the lines of the things that you want to work on, and you can find gainful engagement along those lines. Because some companies, for example, might use SAP as their enterprise resource. Another company might use MySQL, or you get what I'm saying? So it depends on the company, and you can't adapt to the company. You just have to build your portfolio and then begin to look for offers that are in line with the portfolio that you're building. That way you can develop along a linear path. That's my contribution.
Okay. So to be sure, Blessing, is your question about knowing how to start off in tech? I need to get the point. Sorry, I got distracted.
Oh, not really. Of course, already starting up in tech. Knowing if there is, for example, just like you mentioned, some companies will expect you to know some certain softwares. And of course, we can't know everything. Like you said, we just need to, specialize in one or two tools. So I want to know, like he has answered the question though. And second thing I would like to, it's a request. If it's possible, is there any data you can provide for some of us that really want to open up to maybe becoming a free agent, giving us as much data as possible to work with? It can be, no, it's not about the money. Just let us know what we should expect if you decide to, launch out to a different platform. Maybe the platform has some data you want us to work on. Maybe I'm using myself as a sample. I would like to work on as much data as possible for free. I mean, I'm just like a, free service kind of, so it will kind of empower me and make me to get, wow knowledge of data that I should be expecting to see out there? Thank you.
Okay, someone have already mentioned Kaggle. Is it Kaggle? It's Kaggle.com, but I'm going to be, I think, Blessing, are you the person that enrolled for one of our private sections?
Yes, I am. I'm the one.
Okay, I'm very sure you and I are going to meet. During my section with you, I'm going to show you some of those websites. I think there are more than 2 or so, where you can get to learn. Towards the end of your section, I think there is a free resource on GitHub that I might also get the opportunity to share. And just as a follow-up to that question, somebody asked me some time ago, I think this was a woman complaining that the husband have learned Python, I've learned SQL Server, I've learned Excel, I've learned this, I've learned that, but he still couldn't get a job. And then when I had a conversation with the husband, because she recommended the man to have a chat with me, I was asking him certain questions, and 90% of the responses that came back to me was nil, like was nil, not, 0, or no. For instance, do you have a portfolio? He said no. Do you have any of your work online? He said no. Do you know how to put your, I was asking him those questions. Do you know how to search for companies online? He said no. Do you know how to filter searches on this platform? He said no. How many online remote working sites do you have an idea of? He said, well, it's only Upwork, but he got tired at a point. I said, hey, my brother, you people should learn from marketers. I'm not, I learned a lot from someone like Elon Musk, right? Sorry, I'm mentioning the guy too much on this call, but I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot from someone like this guy behind Techies Institute. What is his name? Professor something. I learned a lot from people, and the thing is, it is one thing to have a skill. It is another thing to now to market the skill. There is no how on this planet Earth that you will be so good in anything and nobody knows about you and you expect them to look for you. Who will be? Yeah. Right? But there are professional ways of pushing out yourself online. For those of you that are writers, I started my life in writing, and I know everything. When I mean, well, let me not say everything, but I know so much about marketing my skill as a writer, because it was writing that saved my life. I had moved from earning 18,000 naira in one rural society in Nasarawa State to earning 250,000 naira every month. Wow. By writing for Daily Post. And how did I move? It was astronomical, right? And the job was a remote job. How did I move from earning this small to earning something that can, that money sweet to say, as a money land, that first month, I just pack my kaya like this, go enter one estate, rent time, enjoy 1 month. I don't go work. It was, and from there, I now invested a huge part of the money in upskilling, in going into tech. And of course, things have changed. Lerato, I can see Lerato, my friend, is here from Botswana. So that's what I felt.
One time for the dark side.
Yeah. So I felt I should tell you guys that one, right? So it's one thing to know how to be very good at anything. It's another thing to sell yourself out there. Now, this is my promise to all my students, and I have been the one that takes this section. I don't teach all the time, but for this particular section, I make sure that I teach this one. And that section is called the portfolio creation and problem solving section. So far, since we started, and we've trained over 6,000 persons. Since we started, I have been the only one teaching this section because I want to be sure that people are not just coming to get skills from us, but they also know how to put themselves out there, and they know how to get these jobs. I am far, far, far more happy to get to know that students are getting jobs in the UK, in the US, in Canada, in Nigeria, Ghana. The other time I got inquiries from someone in India and someone in Cameroon. They were having issues with payment methods, and we tried to create some solutions. I always love it. Learn these things as much as you can, but then be very open to learning how to also market yourself. So that's a promise I've made, and I want to keep to that promise. So Lerato, is she here or she's hiding? Jerry, is that Gary? Do you have a question?
Yes. Hello. Hello. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Lerato, I want you to. I can hear you. I want Lerato to come up and say something.
Jerry's here.
Jerry, yeah, go ahead. Your question.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me start. I'm in my 40s actually, and I'm a woman. Like 10 years ago, I used to work in the tech field as a system analyst. And I left, I lost my job, and then married children. Then I went full-time into teaching. So I actually teach sciences and computer science. But now I want to go back. So I'm trying to go back through the route of data analysis. But my question is this. Now, some of the jobs I apply for in IT, some of the response I get is I'm a bit old because I'm in my 40s, right? So I'm trying to, say I'm old because probably I don't have certain certification. So I'm trying to learn SQL. I know a bit of Excel. I know Excel, but not that advanced. I know Excel, but I'm trying to pick up on my Excel, my SQL where I left it off 10 years ago, and learning back Python. But my question is this: at my age and being a teacher, going back into tech, especially going through the route of data analysis, is that really possible for me, especially for job-wise, getting jobs? That's my question.
Okay, so let me get all the questions so that we respond to them at the same time. There are opportunities for one more. Okay, area 4.
Okay, Area 4, thank you.
Area 4, all right, sorry.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My question is this. Okay, fine. I did a course on, I'm actually a junior data analyst with experience in SQL, Excel, and Power BI. Well, my question now is this. I have been finding difficult creating a portfolio using on GitHub. So I would like to get more clarity, how to go about it. How do I create a portfolio on GitHub? I actually have an account on GitHub. I don't know how to create the portfolio with data analysis in regards. That's my question.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right. I'll answer that, or maybe our guest to do the honor. Meekness, I think that should be the last question.
Yes.
Meekness.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, Meekness here. So, first of all, I want to comment on Nnaemeka. His voice is so low. I don't understand. He's trying to form fine voice for us, but well, he's fine. That's that one. I'm just joking. But his voice is really low. I will struggle to hear him. Unlike David, he's really screaming. I would like it. Then I was trying to find out if the WhatsApp that were being added or were being told to join, if that's the community that you're talking about, like the community that will help us grow and can create our portfolio together, or we need to pay some kind of subscription fee to join that special community. I wrote it on the chat box, but I guess it was overpowered by other messages. So just thought I should ask. That's my question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. And I think that's the last question. We want to be out of here in a few minutes. And Nnaemeka, maybe do you have any response to any of the questions asked?
Yeah, so I think they should blame the poor audio on the airport. I don't think it's my fault. You can blame Steve Jobs or somebody, because I'm speaking as best as I could. I don't know why it's low. Yeah. But I want to
speak just low.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I'm speaking to Blessing. Blessing is the teacher, right?
No, Jerry.
Yeah.
Oh, Jerry. So I wanted to ask you a question. Like in your school, do you have any learning management system that your school uses?
Not for now, no.
So how many schools do you have access to teacher?
I teach in a school, so I have access to just one school.
You don't have like other schools that you guys have meetings with or you guys engage with?
No, we don't have that. It's only the proprietor that have access. They have their own proprietor meeting, but teachers are restricted to the school they teach.
Yeah, I think sometimes people might be sitting on opportunities, but they might not see. You know, you're talking about you want to leave and go back to tech, but there's an opportunity already in your school. There's no learning management platform in your school.
Yes, I'm actually working on something like that using Excel.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best place to start, and that's the best place to develop your skill and competence, because you can leverage on your school to build one solution for your school, or find a software as a solution to sell to your school, and then you can sell to multiple schools. And before long, you're not looking for somebody to introduce you back into tech. You're announcing yourself back, regardless of age or gender. You know, there's value for everybody. If you're solving a problem, people will pay you money. They will find you. So you can use your school as your foundation, and then build your portfolio from there.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Nnaemeka. It's been a pleasure to have you today. For the friend who who is a junior data analyst, I think if you want to create a portfolio, you already know what you're doing. So you don't need to join our community to learn what you already know. But in terms of creating a portfolio, you could send me a message on GitHub, on WhatsApp, and then I'm going to see how we could help you. But again, you know, most of our services, you need to subscribe for it. Yes, someone asked about the WhatsApp group. The one you just joined is actually free. I mean, we're going to be sending you links to join, especially a section. I said we have a section with one of the guys who brought in Microsoft into Abuja, Nigeria. He's worked with a couple of companies in the past, and we're going to have that interview with him next week, so that for those of you that want to be globally recognized in the tech field, not just in your community, we can share issues about that. And then Nnaemeka would also, I'm going to be discussing this with him clearly soon after, to see how we can bring some of you into collaborating with some of the stuff we're working with, especially those of you that are already learning from us. And then in that group again, I'm going to be sharing, or Luchi is going to be sharing with you how to subscribe for the other group, where you would have to learn SQL Server, Excel, Tableau, Python, and so on and so forth. I'm going to be sharing the flyers with you guys in the group. For those, I can see messages are coming in already, and those who are interested in joining the group, you will get the details of how to join that subscription-based group. Then the last thing I want to say about the person who is worried about our age, you know, if you can still eat food when you are 40 years old, I don't think you should be afraid to do something else, right? Age should not be a barrier to your learning. To your learning. We've read tons of biographies of people out there doing incredible stuff. If you are afraid, or if people are not accepting you because of what they are doing, people are not accepting you because of what they are doing, or maybe your age, why not check online, check remote jobs opportunities online, all right? And either way, we are going to continue these conversations online. So there is a friend I want to bring up, Leracho. She's going to be the one to say hi to us. We met in the United States, and she's a Mandela Washington Fellow. Nnaemeka, she told me that she knows about you. We met in Washington, D.C. Leracho, are you here?
Hi, everyone.
You don't want us to see your face, eh?
No, it's just my background, unfortunately, is not giving the best, but I just wanted to step in and say hi to you guys. David is a special friend that I met whilst on the Mandela Washington Fellowship, and I just wanted to come here and actually support this conversation with another friend that is actually the speaker here today, which is Nnaemeka, who I met on the fellowship as well whilst we were in Austin, Texas. So I'm very happy to be joining this call, this session with you guys. It was very informative. I'm personally not in tech, but it was kind of great to get the perspectives from both of you and see how I can implement that in the spaces that I'm involved in. So thank you guys so much. We really did appreciate it. I was here not only as a colleague of the two of you, but also as a student. So thank you for having me.
Welcome. Thank you very much. And so, guys, any final words, Nnaemeka?
Well, I think we've said it all for this session. You know, we can continue the conversations in the group and see what collaborations might come out of it.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. It's been such a pleasure to have all of you here. Please share the link to the WhatsApp groups for your friends who are not here, so that they could join to continue conversations. I'm going to be sharing the flyer very soon to an interview coming up next week, and then for those who want to enroll for some of our sections. And then Nnaemeka would also share some of the things he has in mind with us. Please try to share this link, this WhatsApp group, with your friends to join us. And my email is also available in case you want to reach out privately. It's been such a pleasure to have all of you here. And I'm sure we started by 2, so this is an hour 30 minutes exactly. Thanks so much, Nnaemeka. I really appreciate your sharing knowledge and ideas with us, and I hope we'll continue this conversation and collaboration going forward. It's been such a pleasure, guys. So he has also pasted his website on the chat box. Please go and check it out. Reach out to him. I don't know, you didn't share your social media, this thing.
I'm sharing it.
All right. For those that want to reach out to him on social media, you can, check it out. Favor is thanking me for putting the meeting together. Thank you, Favor. Thank you, everyone. So yes, at MCSTME, Movgen.ng, you can follow him on social media. My name is David Francis F. Young, everywhere until I die. It's been a pleasure to have all of you guys. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, David, for the opportunity. We should do this.
Thank you, David.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Nnaemeka.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.